The Galactic Council chamber fell into unprecedented silence as Ambassador Faith Chen's words echoed through the crystalline halls of Sector Prime. Her declaration had been simple, delivered with the calm precision that had become humanity's trademark in diplomatic circles, yet its implications sent ripples of shock through every delegation present. "We respectfully decline your offer to negotiate," Faith repeated, her hands clasped behind her back as she stood before the semicircular assembly of alien dignitaries. Beside her, Commander Parker Williams maintained his military bearing, his expression unreadable beneath the harsh blue lighting of the chamber. Council Overseer Thexlar of the VRYNN Concordat rose from his hovering throne, his 6 eyes blinking in rapid succession, a clear sign of agitation among his species. "Ambassador Chen, perhaps you misunderstand the gravity of this situation. The Krellin Empire controls 14 star systems along your border. They have 60 warships positioned at strategic jump points. This is not a request we make lightly. This is an intervention to prevent galactic war." Faith's expression didn't change. "We understand perfectly, Overseer. Our answer remains the same." The chamber erupted into chaos. Delegates from 24 species began shouting in their native tongues, their translation devices struggling to keep pace with the cacophony. Parker took a subtle step forward, his hand resting near, but not on, his sidearm. It was a gesture of readiness, not aggression, but every military attaché in the room noticed it. "This is insanity," screeched Ambassador Velcora of the Sisterhood of Wings, her feathered crest fully extended in alarm. "The Krellins will interpret this as a declaration of war. Humans, you've only been spacefaring for 70 years. You cannot possibly comprehend what you're inviting." Parker allowed himself a small smile at that. 70 years. The galaxy's elder races love to remind humanity of their youth, their inexperience, their naivete. They'd been doing it since Earth's first colony ship had limped into VRYNN space with a damaged FTL drive, begging for assistance. That had been the galaxy's first mistake. Assuming that desperation meant weakness, Faith waited for the noise to subside before speaking again. "The Krellin Empire seized the Minerva colony in the Tau Ceti system 6 weeks ago. They claimed it violated some ancient territorial claim that predates human expansion by 3,000 years. We requested council arbitration. The council decided that since the claim had historical merit, humanity should cede the system and relocate the 15,000 colonists who had lived there for 2 generations. The historical precedent was clear." Thexlar began. "We complied." Faith interrupted, her voice cutting through his objection like a blade. "We evacuated Minerva. We paid the Krellins reparations for the illegal occupation. We followed council law to the letter." "Then what is the problem?" demanded Overseer Thexlar. "The Krellins now demand the Henderson system as well, citing similar historical claims. We are here to negotiate a reasonable compromise." "No." Faith's single word silenced the entire chamber. "There will be no compromise, no negotiation, no arbitration." Parker watched the alien faces around them cycle through confusion, anger, and, in a few cases, something that looked like fear. Good. It was about time the galaxy learned that humanity had limits. 3 days ago, Faith continued, the Krellins destroyed a civilian transport leaving the Henderson system. 412 souls lost. Men, women, children. They claimed it was a warning, a demonstration of their resolve. She paused, letting the weight of those words settle. "We've delivered our response." Thexlar's eyes widened. "What have you done?" "Nothing yet," Parker interjected, his voice carrying the iron discipline of his military training. "But the 3rd Human Fleet is currently positioned in the Henderson system. The 5th and 7th Fleets are en route. We estimate full deployment within 18 hours. The chamber exploded again. This time, the chaos carried a different tone, panic. "You're deploying 3 fleets against a Krellin force." Ambassador Velcora's voice hit frequencies that made the humans' ears ring. "Have you lost your collective minds? The Krellins have hundreds of ships. They've been a spacefaring civilization for over 6,000 years." Faith smiled then, and it was not a pleasant expression. "We're aware. We've also been studying them for 70 years. We know their tactics, their technology, their strategic doctrine. Do you know what we've learned?" No one answered. "They've been fighting the same way for 6,000 years," Parker said. "Rigid battle formations, predictable fleet movements, Honor-bound combat protocols that they never violate because tradition matters more than victory. He paused. Humans don't have those handicaps. Thexlar's voice took on a pleading tone. Ambassador Chun, Commander Williams, please reconsider. Galactic law exists to prevent conflicts from escalating. If you engage the Krellans, other powers may become involved. The Sisterhood has a mutual defense pact with the Empire. The Concordat would be obligated to impose sanctions. This could tear apart the Council itself. Then perhaps, Faith said quietly, the Council should have considered that before establishing laws that only protect the ancient powers. Before creating a system where might makes right, as long as that might is old enough to have historical precedent. She stepped forward, her gaze sweeping across every delegation. Humanity joined the Galactic Council believing it was a community of equals. We learned quickly that we were wrong. The Council is a hierarchy where newcomers exist to be exploited by those who came before. You dress it up in diplomatic language, in historical claims and legal frameworks. But the truth is simple. You take what you want from those too weak to stop you. That's not. Velcora began. The Minerva colony was just the beginning, wasn't it? Fate's voice rose. The Krellans were testing us. If we gave them Henderson without a fight, they'd claim another system. Then another. The Council would facilitate every theft with your laws and your negotiations and your compromises, all while pretending it was for the greater good of galactic peace. Parker pulled up a holographic display from his wrist unit. It showed the current disposition of human fleet assets. This is where we draw the line. Not because we want war, not because we're warmongers or fools, but because we've learned that in this galaxy, the only language that matters is strength. You'll be destroyed, Thexlar said, but his voice lacked conviction. Faith's smile returned. Maybe, but I don't think so. You see, Overseer, humanity has one advantage that every elder race has forgotten. We know what it's like to have nothing, to be underestimated, to fight not for glory or honor or historical claims, but for survival. She turned toward the exit, Parker falling into step beside her. At the doorway, she paused and looked back. Tell the Krellans we'll see them in Henderson. Tell them there will be no negotiation, no surrender, no retreat. Her eyes hardened. And tell the Council that humanity is done being the galaxy's victim. If that terrifies you, good. Fear is the beginning of respect. As they walked out, leaving a chamber full of panicked delegates behind them, Parker leaned close. Think they'll actually let us fight this alone? Fate's expression was grim. They'll watch. They'll debate. They'll wring their appendages and worry about precedent. But they won't intervene. They're too scared of what it means if we win. And if we lose. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. They both knew that humanity's fate now rested not in negotiation chambers, but in the cold vacuum of space where warships waited and the future of their species hung in the balance. Behind them, the Galactic Council dissolved into chaos, and somewhere in the Henderson system, two civilizations prepared for a collision that would reshape the galaxy forever.